Hi everyone, my name is Diana. I am 19 years old and I am an international student in the US. I'm in my first semester of college at Pitzer College and I am an international ambassador for Niche. So, I am making this video because I had many friends, international students, who are applying to college in the US this year. And they always ask me, what are some of the things that you wish you knew when you were applying to college? And to be very honest, I never really thought about this after I got into college. But last week, I came up with a list of things that I wish I knew when I was applying to college last year. So I really wanted to share this information with you. And I also wrote a blog post about this for Niche. So I will be sharing some of the tips in this video. But if you want more information, you can always find it in the blog section of the website. So let's get started. Alright, so my first tip for international students is that you should get started as soon as you can. I know many international students who start working on their applications when they're still in high school. And I also know others who start working on their application after they graduate high school, during a gap year. So to be very honest, I decided to take a gap year because when I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to study in the US, but I didn't know about the process. I was like, I want to study in the US. How do I do that? So for me, the best option was to take a gap year and focus on the application process during that year. But as I said, other international students start working on their applications when they are still in high school, during their junior year, during their senior year. The decision depends entirely on you, and you should get started once you feel like you have all the information. But the earlier you start, the better your chances are of getting into your dream school. So this is my second tip. Read about the general process. Make sure you read about the overall process, not only the process for international students. And there are some things that you really need to understand. First of all, you need to understand the difference between the deadlines. You need to understand the difference between early decision, early action, and regular decision. You might think they are the same thing, but no. They actually have different requirements. Then, you should also read about major and minor. And I think this is very important because when I was applying to college, I was very confused about them. I was like, what is a major? What is a minor? What is the difference between a major and a minor? So I think you should really read about the difference between a major and a minor. Then you should read about the Common App and the Coalition App, which are basically the platforms where you will add all the information required by the universities you are applying to. So make sure you read about the difference and the similarities between these two platforms so you can decide which one you want to use. And finally, you need to read about the test. So nowadays, and this year, there are many colleges that don't require you to take some tests, like the ACT and the SAT, which you basically need to take in order to demonstrate your knowledge in certain subjects such as math, science, and English. But as I said, this year, most universities in the US do not require these tests. So make sure you read about test optional colleges and test blind colleges. These things are very important, so make sure you read about them. And then, as an international student, you need to take a test that will measure your level of English. And there are three options: the TOEFL test, the IELTS, and the Duolingo test. These three tests are the ones that are accepted by most universities in the US. And you do not need to take all of them. You just need to take one of them. So make sure you also read about them and choose which one you think will be better for you. The last tip that I will share in this video is tip number 3. You should think about how you will cover all the expenses of studying in the US. So education in the US is very expensive, and for most international students, it is very difficult to cover all these expenses. So make sure you read about the financial aid packages that some universities and colleges in the US can give you to help you cover the expenses of studying in the US. So make sure you read about scholarships, merit-based and need-based financial aid. You should also read about grants and loans. So read about these types of financial aid that most universities in the US offer to international students, and also talk about this with your parents, talk about this with your family, and think about how you will cover all the expenses of studying in the US. You should plan and really think about this. So those were the 3 tips that I wanted to share with you all in this video. As I mentioned before, if you want more information on this topic, you can always find it in the blog section of niche.com. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to hear from you soon. Please let us know if you have more questions. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon.